The entity performing the launch status check at this time. All systems verify ready, resume count, and go for launch. OTC. Orbiter is a go. TPC. TPC, go. TTC. IUS-2, this is go. LPS. LPS is go. Houston flight.
Houston flight is go.
Mila. Mila's go. STM. STM go. Safety console. Safety's go. SPE. SPE go. CDR. Discovery is go. Copy that. LRD. LRD's go. And SRO. SRO is go. You have final clear to launch. Copy. Launch director entity. Launch director. The launch team is ready to proceed. Copy. I'll do my poll shortly.
And Lauren Schreiber, the director of the mission management team, has been polling his group.
Launch director 212 conducting a launch poll at this time.
In order to give Jim Harrington a go, along with the rest of the launch team.
Copy. Engineering director. Jim, engineering's go. Copy. SNMA director.
SNMA is ready to go.
Copy. Range weather. Launch director, we have no constraints to launch. Copy that. And ops manager. Tim, the MMT is working, no issues, you're clear to launch. Copy. And Discovery, looks like a great day to go fly, so have a good mission and we'll see you back in a few days. Yeah, we'll be back a week from tomorrow, and you've done your work, now put us to work. And NTD launch director, you have a clearance to launch. Copy, thank you.
Sound suppression water system now being armed. Quantity of 300,000 gallons of water in the water tank at the pad, which will flow at a rate of 900,000 gallons a minute, starting at T-minus 16 seconds. T-minus 1 minute now. Standing by for the handoff to Discovery's onboard flight computers at T-minus 31 seconds.
Go ahead beyond, call hold. Hold 31. Countdown clock will hold it 31 seconds.
And we do have a hold.
We would like permission to run a multi-path test contingency. SP entity. What is SP? Let's go ahead and move to it. And CBRS, you have a go. Okay, should have result in 15 seconds. Copy in 1. Okay, the result of the contingency is good. We're clear for launch. Copy. SCE. SCE understands, and we're ready to go. Copy. Launch director entity. Clear to go. Thank you. All personnel. Countdown clock will begin momentarily. Entity, this is GLS. Do we have a go to resume? GLS, go ahead and pick up the count. I'll resume on my mark. 2, 1, mark. GLS, go for auto sequence start.
And we've had the handoff to Discovery's onboard computers.
20.
Sound suppression water system activated. 13 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Main engine ignition. 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Discovery to complete NASA's constellation of tracking stations in the sky.
Houston now controlling the flight of Discovery.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
Discovery completes the roll to place the shuttle in a head-down, wings level position for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit. Seconds into the flight, Discovery's 3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back in a 3-step fashion to 67% of rated performance to lessen the stress on the shuttle's aero surfaces as it passes through the sound barrier. Seconds into the flight, the main engine's now beginning to rev up once again to 104% of rated performance, including the new Block 1 engine. All 3 main engines performing normally, as are the 3 power-producing fuel cells and Discovery's 3 hydraulic power units.
Discovery Houston, go at throttle up.
Go at throttle up.
Discovery now 63,000 feet in altitude, 8 miles downrange. All systems continue to function normally in the early stage of the 4th shuttle flight of the year. Seconds left in first stage performance of the solid rocket boosters. Discovery approaching the 155,000 foot mark in altitude, some 26 miles downrange. Booster officer confirms solid rocket booster separation.
Discovery Houston, performance nominal.
Copy, nominal performance.
That call from spacecraft communicator Kurt Brown to Commander Tom Hendricks aboard Discovery, indicating that the solid rocket boosters performed as expected in the first stage of this 8.5-minute ride to orbit. Discovery 226,000 feet in altitude, 52 miles downrange, traveling at almost 6,300 feet per second. Commander Tom Hendricks and pilot Kevin Kriegel at the controls on the flight deck, joined by flight engineer Nancy Curry and mission specialist Don Thomas.
Discovery Houston, 2-engine Ben Guerrier.
2-engine Ben Guerrier.
Astronaut Mary Ellen Weber down on the middeck. That call indicating that if one engine fails right now, Discovery has enough velocity, enough inertia to make a transatlantic abort at the prime TAL site at Ben Guerrier Morocco on the west coast of Africa. All systems continue, however, to function normally at the 3.5-minute mark into the flight. Coming up on the negative return point in the flight, where Discovery will be too far downrange, too high in altitude to return to the launch site in the event of an engine failure.
Discovery Houston, negative return.
Negative return.
And good cooling for the orbiter through the flash evaporator system, which will be in operation till the payload bay doors are open about 1 hour and 25 minutes into the flight. 4 minutes, 20 seconds into the mission. Discovery at an altitude of 342,000 feet, 150 miles downrange, traveling almost 10,000 feet per second. Good performance from the main engines, the fuel cells, and the auxiliary power units to this point in the flight. Five minutes in, everything looking good with Discovery.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO, select band jewel.
Press to ATO, selecting band jewel.
That call indicating that Discovery can make minimal orbital targets even in the event of an engine failure to this point. However, all three main engines continue to function by the book, as do all of Discovery's other systems. A nominal ride so far.
Discovery Houston, single engine Ops 3, band jewel.
Copy that.
Discovery Houston, press to MECO.
Press to MECO.
That call from spacecraft communicator Kurt Brown indicating that in the event of an engine failure to this point, Discovery can make its normal cutoff targets.
Discovery Houston, single engine band jewel 104.
Band jewel 104.
That call indicating that even in the event of a double engine failure, Discovery can still make a transatlantic abort to the west coast of Africa. However, with 2 minutes of powered flight to go, all of Discovery systems continue to function in a normal fashion, including the new Block 1 engine. All of the auxiliary power units and fuel cells continue to function normally. Discovery at an altitude of 365,000 feet, flattening out its trajectory to gain speed as it drains fuel at the rate of a half a ton of fuel per second from its external fuel tank.
Discovery Houston, single engine press 109.
Single engine 109.
Discovery now 429 nautical miles downrange, approaching 18,000 feet per second in velocity. Discovery now 500 miles downrange, approaching the 20,000 foot mark in velocity, 20,000 feet per second. Seven and a half minutes into the flight, Discovery's main engines once again being throttled back to limit the stress on the shuttle to that of 3 times gravity. Discovery is currently traveling at a speed of more than 5 miles a second. 35 seconds to go before main engine cutoff. Everything looking good aboard the orbiter. Eight minutes, 20 seconds into the flight, Discovery, now having surpassed 23,000 feet per second, will enter its preliminary orbit at a velocity of 5 miles a second as we stand by for main engine cutoff. Booster officer reports normal main engine cutoff.
Discovery Houston, we show a nominal MECO, no ohms 1 required, and your go for the photo DTO.
Go for the photo DTO.
That call from spacecraft communicator Kurt Brown to Commander Tom Hendricks gives the approval for mission specialist Don Thomas to unstrap from his seat, feeling the first effects of weightlessness, to grab a camera and take a picture of Discovery's external fuel tank as it drops away from the orbiter. External tank separation having been confirmed by the booster officer. To recap, Discovery lifted off about 50 seconds behind the nominal time of